girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females magic just touching me, trick me, trick me, trick me.
Hi, I'm Ryla Marzano, the host of Take Care of Your Body by Rye. I hope this is your new favorite space for all things health, wellness, and healing. Each week, I sit down with doctors, dietitians, wellness experts, and just your everyday people, and we talk about taking care of the body, why it's important, and overall stories that will remind you on why you need to take better care of yourself and why you need to focus on taking care of your mental and physical health. Make sure you hit subscribe. Hey everyone, today I'm honored to welcome a very special guest. She's a registered dietitian, but also a badass. Hey Peyton, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, Rylan. How are you?
I'm talking to you, so my day is so much better. I literally woke up sleepy today, and this is giving me energy, so I'm so excited. Look at us go.
I know. Thank you for gassing me up and always making me feel just the best. I would have to agree. It's a vibe today, so I'm excited to interview with you today. And thanks so much for having me too.
No, thank you for being willing to come on. I love your page. It's such a safe space and you're so educational, but also relatable. I feel like so many people on social media just like throw things at you like you're in science class, but you make it so fun and relatable and you don't feel like you're in school. You just feel like you're connecting with a human being. So I want to thank you
Oh,
for
thank
that.
you.
You just truly are so
Yeah.
at what you do.
Thank you so much. It's so sweet of you to say. That's what I hope too. So I'm glad to hear.
Happy anniversary of your page. Like, come on, it's supposed to be.
Yeah. It really was. So when we were talking about timing and you're like July 1st, I'm like, yeah, sold. Perfect.
You're
Perfect
like,
timing.
perfect, perfect.
Yes. Yeah. So very exciting to like have the 1 year anniversary for Pay Health Nutrition. And yeah, we did like the merch launch today. And I like how I say we, but like it's me. It's like no one else. So when I'm putting terminology, I'm like, oh my God, we're so excited. Like, girl, it's just you.
It's you and
So
your
anyway,
personalities. You know what I mean?
I
Like
guess.
the whole
I
girl
mean,
boss team.
yes, I am a Gemini, so that actually fits perfectly, like whatever we're going with.
We love that. No, we love that so much.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
at that point, if anyone's gonna hype you up the most, it has to be yourself. That's what I always tell people.
True. Very, very true. That's facts.
So, do you want to kind of introduce yourself and also explain to people? Hopefully, everyone listening knows what a registered dietitian is, but in case someone thinks
Sure.
it's like a mechanical, engineer or something, clear that up,
Yeah.
please.
Sure. So I'm Peyton. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. So pretty much like the most common question I get is like, what's the difference between a nutritionist, health coach versus dietitian, or like holistic nutritionist? And there's quite a lot of differences. Number one, I like to really differentiate is I can take insurance for clients. So I can do the claim process for that versus like a health coach nutritionist cannot. Um, my dog could be a nutritionist, my cat could be a nutritionist, but like in order to be a dietitian, you need to now have a master's plus a bachelor's degree in dietetics. And then you also need to complete, I think it's like 1,000 hour dietetic internship now to compensate for the master's degree. I like literally snuck in as soon as they required the master's. So I just got by, thank God. Um, so you do that, and then once you finish your rotations, you have to pass the registered board exam. Once you do that, then you get your licenses in certain states. So I have mine in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Georgia, but some states are non-licensure, meaning you can practice just being a dietitian in general, but you don't need to pay to get or go through the application process for it. So that is kind of difference between dietitian and nutritionist. Yeah.
There's a big one. When you said your dog could be a nutritionist, I was like, I don't know if my dog would want to be a nutritionist. She has a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, like that's a lot to ask. So yes, absolutely, but that is definitely something I like to explain just to people who are wondering that that's kind of the main differences there. So
It's a
yeah.
good example because I feel like on social media, especially, we see all these influencers claiming they know a lot about health and wellness. And I
Yes.
think that's why you need to kind of steer more into like following a registered dietitian where it's like, yeah,
Hmm.
maybe they personally know a lot about health and wellness, but they have the degree and the certification to back them up with what they're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be completely honest, I have seen some people who like claim they're nutritionists or health coaches, and I'm not mad about how they practice necessarily. It's mainly the ones that are like fear mongering, or throwing dietitians under the bus, saying like, well, they're just for big pharma. And that whole big, especially nowadays, like it's a nightmare.
Right.
So I think just always advocating for our profession too, is definitely what I like to showcase on my Instagram, and then also just in real life too with friends and family. So yeah.
Thank you for doing that. So I kind of want to ask you, we hear this term food freedom all over Instagram, TikTok. What does
Mhm.
that actually mean?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think it could mean different depending upon the person. So, someone who's gone through an eating disorder might view food freedom in a different way versus another person who never has or maybe doesn't know the term. For me, food freedom, I like to explain to clients, is when that food noise isn't as strong and you can eat intuitively, with that intentional nutrition piece. So, like, food freedom is you can have a piece of cake at dinner or a dessert and not have to think a second about it. You're not in your mind like, shit, like I already had dessert today, or like this is going to throw off my day. It's so big. Is anyone else going to eat it? It's just the ability to order what you would like and not have that loud noise in your head. But also, if you notice, like, hey, I haven't had a vegetable in a while, maybe let me have this lovely salad. Also, the ability to do that and recognize I need to nourish myself at the same time.
I love that so much. Why do you think people are so scared around food to the point where they can no longer have the ability to have food freedom?
Yeah, that's definitely a deep question. I think
You're healing all of us
multi-layers.
right now, actually.
Yeah, no, definitely hitting it hard, Rylan. Thank you. So
Someone
I
has to.
think, right, I think it's just like, not to be like society, but like it totally is.
Oh, it
I
is.
think, yeah. And over the years too, like there's always been a form of, diet culture, which is the exact opposite of food freedom, I would say. And I think it obviously affects men, but it predominantly affects women. I mean, every commercial now you see when I'm trying to watch, I was watching my Mormon Wives,
Mhm.
and every commercial was for Ozempic.
Oh,
And I get that there's a place for some people who have tried everything under the sun and need it, but I mean, to get inundated with that, especially if you're suffering from a disordered eating or going through something, to constantly have it be hit in your face, like that's a big problem. And I think when people are seeing, people in Hollywood, like the trend right now is like 90s chic thin, of course a girl's going to be like I don't know, like should that be me? So I think media, especially the new age of social media, is just really made things 10 times worse.
I agree, and it's like, I hate to like comment on someone else's body, but like Ariana Grande, like I've definitely seen a change. I used to be like huge fan of her and I love her music, but I have to
Hmm.
unfollow her because she's been recently like very triggering me. I suffered from an
Yeah.
eating disorder, and it's like she's claiming like she's at the healthiest like point of her life, but I'm like, you've always been on the thin side, but there were times in the past where you looked healthy, and now I'm concerned. And it's like stars like that
Yes.
who aren't explaining what's going on, and I'm just like, I feel bad for your younger fans who are thinking this is okay because you're kind of affirming it with
Yeah.
acknowledging, the
Yeah.
comments and properly saying like, she's kind of deflecting it and saying like it's the healthiest, point of her life, but I'm like, that's not healthy. And you saying that it's your healthiest is affirming to someone maybe with an eating disorder that it's okay to, wear that body with pride.
Yeah, I think you described that beautifully, honestly, because yes, absolutely. Like, I never want to, because whether it's fat shaming, whether it's
Right.
skinny shaming, it's still shaming. But I think it's that piece of not acknowledging it or being like, oh, like it's fine, that just is bad messaging. And I think if you are in the spotlight, I think that you're almost morally obligated to like say like, okay, like I'm getting help or whatever, because you're in the spotlight and you are, a role model to these girls, especially who have seen you and then grown into this exceptionally small body. So there was also Demi Moore. It was infuriating because there was the magazine, I think it was Vogue, and they were like such toned arms, and it's literally skeletal, malnourished arms. And it's like, where, what toned? Like, you mean like the bones? Like they're boned arms, but yeah,
No, and I remember when I was younger, like I used to, especially during COVID, I would Google like Sabrina Carpenter's workout or Ariana Grande's workout, and I like
sure.
had that mindset. And now I'm just like, it's so heartbreaking that the younger generation is seeing this all over and are probably like idealizing this look and wanting to achieve this,
Hmm.
but it's not healthy. I don't even know how some of these celebrities are touring or walking the red carpet with the lack of like,
Right.
muscle that they have on their body. You need like
Yes.
fat on your body. You need muscle to be able to function and, move your joints properly. What is going on?
Yes. Um, Absolutely, that energy piece. I actually made a video talking about that. Like, hey, you need fat and muscle stores to do basic activities of daily living. If you want to garden, if you want to go for a walk, you can't be malnourished. You can't have such a large deficit where you're going to feel great. Like, if you're tired all the time, too, I always like chat with clients and I check in, are you eating enough? Like, has that shifted? Because yeah, it totally affects your overall energy levels and your mood too. I mean, so many things.
I now want to ask you, like, as a dietitian, and if anyone is triggered by this, you can fast forward the episode. How many calories
Sure.
do our brains need to perform? Just our brains.
That I think really is individualized. I think there is, yes, very individualized. There is something called like your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, and that calculates like if you were laying in a bed not doing anything, what your baseline is. But just to throw out a number, like 1,200 calories is meant for like a toddler, like it's meant for a child developing. So if people are listening to this, if there's anything that tells you to have that, please do not listen to that because, again, it's so generalized. And unless you're meeting with your own dietitian, you need your specific set of nutritional requirements because it cannot be vague like that.
It's insane that like when you undereat, you can really tell that your body is not performing normally versus when you have a
Hmm.
full day of eating. And I think that
Yeah.
show that we should not be eating the maximum for a toddler. Like, why are we doing that?
No, no, absolutely not. So yeah, it's a big yikes for sure. And sad at the same time.
Yeah,
And
it
if
is.
people don't know any better, or if they haven't met with a dietitian before, but they find this video that's so engaging or so fear mongering, and it's like, oh, like maybe I should be doing that. It sucks. So I think, like I was saying, I try to be funny and relatable on my page to really educate people on like, no, like please do not listen to that. Like you're worth so much more. That's not how it should be.
No, and that's why I think what you do and having conversations like this will really open
Hmm.
eyes to realize, like, wait, maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe my family needs some extra support and just educating them on like the right ways to take care of your body because it's so, so, so
Yeah.
important and it goes into everything. You're going to be a better
Hmm.
friend or a loved one or sister or mom or, spouse when you're fueling your body properly. I completely believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've worked in an eating disorder clinic before I was a dietitian. And I think working there, I've gotten trained pretty well on like how to pick up red flags or signs. So I think for me, sometimes I like have to bite my tongue unless someone is actively asking me for like help or has questions. Obviously, I'm more than happy to help, but it pains me sometimes to hear comments where it's like, I haven't eaten all day. And it's like, I'm not going to be like, yay, like that's not going to happen. Coffee is not a substitute for meals either. And I just can't, yeah, it's hard for me to hear.
No, no, no. It's like it's so frustrating when someone tells me like the same thing, like, oh, I didn't eat breakfast today. I'm like, your brain and your body needs something to
Yeah.
get off of. You're just functioning on energy. And then
Yes.
like find yourself really, really hungry late at night, and then it's gonna be this cycle.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's definitely crazy times right now for
It
sure.
really is. Have you heard the excuse where someone's like, oh, I just don't know what to cook?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely clients too. I work with a lot of like neurodivergent clients, so like ADHD, and just like anxiety, depression. So that being said, I get it. Like there, I always say, what's easiest for you right now? Because if you don't have time or you don't have the energy to make this elaborate meal, like what's going to be convenient for you? Like what can we do that's going to save you time that you're actually going to want to eat? And if that means getting some frozen bags of broccoli that you're throwing into the microwave and steaming it and making a Minute Maid rice and throwing some like air fried chicken tenders in there, that's great. You got your protein, your vegetable, and carb. And if that's what works for you, that's what we'll do right now in this moment. Because it can be difficult for certain people. But if they're using as an excuse, or like I said, if I can pick up, like, okay, let's discuss that for a second, or I have some questions
You can
about
see through
that.
the
So
bullshit. You're like, wait a minute. I don't
yeah,
know. Well, and I mean, like,
yes,
there's so many ways around that. Like, I really like that you would preach, like, that you're preaching, I guess, is the better word, like, easy and accessible. Like, it's more important
yes,
eating than eating something perfect. And I think
for
meal
sure.
prepping saves lives. Like, some days,
Hmm.
a protein pancake bowl in the microwave. Literally microwave it with milk and it's perfect. And
Love that.
and fruit and boom, like, there you go.
Yeah.
And it's just easy like that, like meal prepping or just throwing something together or finding like, yogurt or something stabilizing that you can at least eat, like if you're not too hungry.
Hmm.
That's more important than just not eating in general. Like, yeah, it's overwhelming to figure out what to eat, but you're going to feel more overwhelmed if you're not eating.
Yeah, and like we said before, I mean, if you're like going, 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 and then you haven't had anything, like you're gonna hit a wall so hard, like you're gonna be exhausted. So yeah, definitely we need to nourish ourselves with something.
What are some signs that someone might be experiencing food guilt or food rules?
Ooh,
She's like, where
yeah,
do I
this is a
start?
fun question. I know. I'm like, ooh, good. Food, yeah. So I can usually tell by how someone is describing things. So, like the classic good versus bad, um, it being tied to a fear, the fear of what people are going to say about me, about it not being a perfect food. I don't like things that are overly processed. This is going to make me gain weight, or it's just not, it's all junk. That's usually the terminology that I can usually pick up on. Um, I love when I kind of throw a question back at a client who like tells me they're terrified to eat a piece of cake on like a weekday. And
Mhm.
I'm like, well, what would it feel like if you did eat a piece of cake and you had it with milk to have it be a little bit more filling? And they're always like, what? Like, what did you just say? Like, that's a thing. And I'm like, yeah, whatever you want to do, girl. Like, it's your life. Like, whatever you want to do. These rules you've created. So we can dissolve them and we can work towards that feeling of food freedom. So yeah, those are usually the indicators with like the verbiage of what I can pick up on.
And it's so crazy that like just you telling me that, I'm like, wow, the human brain really is so boxed in. And while we like create this rule when we talk to a dietitian or a physician and they tell us, we're like, wait, like it doesn't have to be this rigid way. And I think it really goes to show like how society and
Yeah,
social media plays this role into us thinking like we have to eat things a certain way and the sky's gonna fall if we eat a piece of cake. But my whole thing is I don't
exactly.
want to cry about cake and then when I'm 85 be like, wow, I didn't eat the cake on my best friend's birthday, or that day where I was really
Exactly.
sad because I had a bad day,
Yes.
wanted cake. Like life is short. You're not gonna explode if you eat a piece of cake. Nothing bad's gonna happen.
Hmm.
The world's gonna go
Yep.
next day.
It's gonna keep spinning for
Your
sure.
body can't change that quickly, right? Like you're gonna eat a piece of cake and you're
Yeah.
not gonna gain 25 pounds afterwards. Like it doesn't work that way.
No, definitely not. Yeah, no, it seriously does not work that way.
If it
And
did, that would be crazy. I would be like, no,
that would,
I'm calling bullshit.
yeah, yeah, I'd be done. So
That'd be my
yeah,
walk.
yeah, I know. Censor. So, yeah, that is, yeah, that's a big thing where people, yeah, they're just like, wait, what? Like, I can do this? Yeah, so I love to be that dietitian or person that's finally telling them, like, it's okay. Like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything's good or bad. Or I think even some clients are like, oh, I was afraid or nervous to tell you that. And that breaks my heart because I'm like, do you know me? Like, please never be nervous or afraid to tell me that because, like, we're going to talk through it. And if we're having cake for breakfast every single day of the week, sure, I'm going to dive into that and figure out, like, what's triggering that or what we're lacking, maybe another nutrition, but I will never demonize a food or scold a client for having something that's not quote unquote balanced or perfect.
Exactly. And you're just so sweet. Like I feel like you'd be like, okay, we'll have cake together. Like it's okay. If you're scared to eat cake, I'll eat it with you.
True.
Have you ever done that with
Yes.
someone?
I actually, so we did a lot of meal support when I worked at the eating disorder clinic. And I specifically worked with binge eating disorder, which I actually really love working with that population, because there's a lot of trauma there, which I like kind of diving into. But,
That's so
um,
excited.
yes, exactly. So we sat down, and we would have to, it was funny because we would say, redirect when you brought up anything triggering like about the food and conversation. So yeah, definitely doing a lot of meal support, bending down to the patient, really helping them through a meal, validating how they feel, doing one-on-one meal support with them. And I did that actually with a patient in the hospital, who kept being admitted for anorexia and alcoholism, and she like got kicked out of programs or she completed them, and I think she got kicked out because of the alcoholism. And I remember we did meal support one time in the room, and she was really appreciative and it was really cool to do, but I just felt shortened because it's such an inpatient acute setting. So it's like I'm not her dietitian outside of here, but it was cool to be able to do that, while she was in the ICU. So that was a pretty cool experience.
And she'll never forget that either. She never will. Like I truly
Yeah.
think like that's why dietitians are so important. And you guys get so much shit. I swear to God, dietitians deserve the same pay as doctors. Like I will say that all day long, but
Yeah.
point,
Girl,
like you guys do
love that.
sometimes more than doctors, and you have to deal with the doctors that leave their patient triggered because of the scale. I'm like, why are we doing that? Like I
Yes.
literally, you're gonna love this. So I went to little Ryland tidbit. As I told you, I have POTS, and all my listeners know
Yeah.
that. I went to an electrocardiologist, and he was an asshole, and I'm gonna say that he just was. But
Oh,
because
I'm
of my POTS
sorry.
now, it's okay. But because of where my POTS is right now, like I can't really exercise as much, and I'm like kind of retraining my body
Sure.
with therapy. And
Yeah.
he's like going over things, and he was like, "Well, make sure you don't eat too much. We don't want you getting fat." And I was like, "Excuse me, sir. You don't know me
Are
from a
you
hole in the wall."
serious?
I know. And I was like, you don't know me from a hole in the wall. Like, you don't know I could have an eating disorder. I could have
That's terrible.
struggling issues. And I'm like, thank God for dietitians because you see people that, deal with doctors like this and you kind of help them heal. But it's just ridiculous how the
Yeah.
medical system doesn't really view it as, okay, maybe this complex human in front of me is dealing with, an eating disorder or body image struggle
Yeah.
or something beyond what they're coming to see me for. So thank you for doing the work you do.
Yeah. No, thank you for saying that. And again, I'm really sorry you've had that experience. And unfortunately,
Men
I think
suck.
that's, I
Some men.
know,
Some men.
boo,
Some
boo.
men suck, but take his MD away because what?
Yeah. No, most men. So,
Not your
um,
husband, King.
not, no, no, King
If he's the
energy
younger
for
brother,
sure.
let a girl know.
Yeah. I know. No, unfortunately he doesn't. His older brother's taken. But he does have a cousin.
Okay, hit me up.
Just a cousin. Okay, I'll let you know later. So yeah, I think I actually also have that population of clients that come to me and express just that. And they've been dinged by the medical care system. I've even had clients that have met with another dietitian who might have been, yeah, I know it's,
Hallucinations, you
who
probably
might have
scared.
been, I know, like it might have been, maybe an old school dietitian, hopefully, because I think back in the day it was more like classic restrictive. That's what you were taught in school, and now we've just grown so much. But yeah, I definitely have worked with that where people have been afraid or they're like, you're not going to tell me this, or you could just tell when someone's just closed up, closed off. And I love cracking in there. That's my favorite thing to do. I love just being like, let me just swim in here and break it down.
They're probably so scared, of the thought of seeing a dietitian, and you're just like so sweet. They're like, wait, you're not mean. What?
Yeah, I really, really try to meet people where they're at. And then I, of course, dive into like personal stuff of like, tell me about your family or like, what's your favorite foods? Like, oh, you're going to this concert? Like, tell me more about that. So I definitely build that relationship before I start telling them like dietary advice or getting their deepest, darkest secrets because they have to trust you to unleash that. And that's, I think, my favorite part of counseling. Like, building that trust with them and uncovering things and like the aha moments of why they're feeling like that or why they have these strict food rules so yeah.
No, I love that. And I feel like sometimes like figuring out the music they like or, their family history answers questions before you even need to ask them. I feel like media consumption
Yes.
and family history is so important. So now we're gonna go to my
Hmm.
next question. What
Yeah.
role does like our family play in our relationship with food? And also, how does childhood affect food trauma? I kind of want to go into that section now.
Oh my gosh. Yes, my favorite. This could be like days worth of content, honestly.
I'm ready.
But oh God, there's so many different layers, Rylan, honestly. And again, I learned so much when I worked at that eating disorder clinic. And shout out to my homegirl Haley. She was the first dietitian that kind of took me under her wing.
Oh,
She's awesome. She really taught me how to slow down because I'm like a go, go, go person. And she was like, hey, like these patients need a little bit slower pace, like you don't have to have an answer right away. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you're right, I don't have to have an answer right away. So with that being said, oh, the trauma that families bring, just situations that happen during childhood that really just carry on with it into adulthood. And I think it affects everyone a little bit differently, but a lot of times like folks who are food insecure, they're more hoarders. They more are afraid to throw things out. They're afraid to have food waste, rightfully so, because they didn't have an abundance of food growing up. Um, Same thing, I mean, kind of trigger warning, but any like domestic abuse, any sexual abuse, people go to comfort. They go to food because they think they have control over something. And then it often, not often, but a lot of times it will develop in disordered eating because it's that control element. And if the household is a shit show, if they had to become an adult early on, or they weren't felt like they were secure in their house, they're going to try to hold on to something. And a lot of times that happens to be food. So it absolutely mirrors into adulthood. And that's why I love to talk with clients about, hey, what did your mom's relationship with food like? Or what did it like look like at the dinner table for you? Was like mom and dad there? Did you have like a sit down meal every night? Were you alone for your meals? It really brings up so many different light bulb moments where you're like, of course that's why you do this, because it's safe for you, because that's all you know, which always breaks my heart.
No,
So
you probably get emotional. Like you're a therapist right then and there.
yeah,
See, we're gonna go into practice together. I love that for
I
us.
know.
You know what I mean? But
Yes, absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
it's like, no, that's so emotional because it's like to that individual, it's probably like, the back of their hand, it's what they know every day. And then you're like, wait a minute, now we just kind of understood why you do these actions. And it's not just something that, you've normalized your entire life. That's so heartbreaking. And I think it's such a generational issue. Like, you know, older people grew up with like some toxic diet culture and toxic food rules.
Yep.
And if they don't break
Yep.
that, then it's going to pass on to their kids, and then it's going to pass on to those kids, and it's going to keep
Yep.
going.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely like the moms being chronic dieters, only having certain things in the house. Yeah, the almond moms.
I'm like crying. I'm like, I see that on my TikTok. I'm like, not interested, not interested. Please, God, get it out.
Yeah, or like I know, or like the moms or their like heads tilted and they're like, I'm making like a homemade. And it's like, please, you are just ruining things for the progress that these people have been making. Or My favorite question, I feel like I have so many favorite questions I keep saying. So another thing I like to do is if a client comes to me and they're like, I really would love to be this specific weight. Like, I think I would feel so good at this weight. And I love to ask what the rest of their family looks like. Are they in smaller bodies? Are they in larger bodies? Have they ever been at this weight before? And 9 out of 10 times they were at this weight when they were in high school. So I gently worked them through again my what I like to ask, what would it feel like to not be at that weight that you were in high school before you were done developing? Um, and really try to help them come up with this might be an effect of dietary changes you make, but it's going to be hard if this is your sole goal because if you're focusing on that number, it's going to throw you off for everything else.
No, and it's crazy that people like want to fit into a certain pair of jeans, but it's like maybe you're not supposed to because your body like developed and changed. Like bodies are meant to change.
Absolutely.
They are. We're meant to like need bigger size clothes. Like you're
Hmm. Yeah.
growing, you're becoming a different person, and like different eras of your life, you're gonna look different ways, and that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Different chapters. So absolutely.
Yeah, different chapters. I love that you threw that in.
Hmm.
I'm an author, so that made me happy. But
Yeah.
she knew. She
Clear
knew.
the page. Yes.
She
Yeah.
knew. But it's just it's insane. I see so much toxic bullshit and I'm like, this is crazy that people still think this way and they compare themselves to other people. And I'm like, sometimes the way someone's body looks is genetic. Like that's out of their control. Like you can exercise
Yep.
all day long and eat the same way as someone, but health and wellness is individualized. Like your body's not meant to look like your best friend or your mom or your next door neighbor. It's meant to look like you.
No. And personally for me, like I grew up with love them to death, but a bunch of European girlfriends, and
Mhm.
all of them are literally like this big
Mhm.
because they're all petite and kind of more like Slavic and grew up like that. And I'm like Norwegian build, like just got off the Viking ship. So like I'm never going to look like that. And it was really hard growing up because being like, okay, this is one is not the same. Like, why am I here when they're so teeny tiny? And I've really grown to like love my body, like how I have more like an athletic build. Like, I'm never going to be Miss Petite, and that's okay because that's just not in my blood. That's not how I was meant to be.
No, and that just healed something in me because, like, growing up, I was always the tallest, and I was like
Oh,
five
okay.
in middle school, and I was friends with like people that were like
Oh,
5'8"
wow.
and 5'3", and I'm like, why
Yes.
don't I look that skinny and small? And I'm like, they like now
Mhm.
I'm like, babe, because you're tall, like your body's going to distribute things differently, and also you're
Absolutely.
on steroids for your asthma because I had chronic asthma at the time, so I'd get
Oh,
steroids, and I would like kind of have to navigate my health in that route, and I'd be comparing
yeah.
to different people with different bodies. And it's like, Rylan, you're not meant to do that, girl. You're meant to look that way right now for you.
Yes,
But it's so relatable
absolutely.
and it's hard because, like, when you see different people around you, like, doing different things, you think there's something wrong with you and you feel weird. And then
Hmm.
sometimes, hopefully not for anyone listening, would recommend skipping this chapter. You try and make yourself look the way they do, and then you fail because your body's not meant to.
Yep, absolutely. And just as humans, like we always compare, like we always want what we can't have. Grass is always greener on the other side. Like literally, even for this call, I'm like, I'm curling my hair because it's always stick straight. And like other people are like, oh my God, I wish I had stick straight hair. So it's like we always want what we can't have. And that's just like an ongoing thing for us to work on.
And then we get it somehow, and then it's not what we want.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen women post about how they've lost all this weight and they're like, that actually made me hate myself worse. Like, I actually am in a worse spot than I was to start. So I think, that mental health piece is so important if you are going to start this weight loss journey or just journey towards your overall health. You need to keep that in mind that these extremes or things that aren't realistic, like it's setting you up for failure.
1,000%. And body dysmorphia, I think, really plays a role.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
touch on that a little bit? I mean, oh my God, that is so hard to navigate. I see so many posts and I'm like, these poor people. Oh, you paused. There we go.
Oh, did I? Am I
Yeah,
here?
there we go.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's really interesting. I haven't I haven't worked a lot with body dysmorphia like for my specific clients, but obviously like I know it's a thing for sure. And yeah, I can't imagine having shifted in a different body and you don't recognize yourself anymore, or you still think you're larger or maybe smaller than you are, because I think it goes both ways. You know what? I guess that's not true. I have had some binge eating clients who maybe think that they're smaller than they are, or they didn't realize how big they were until
Mhm.
someone said something. So yeah, it can be really hard. It can be this like disassociative feeling where you just don't feel aligned with your what you look at in the mirror.
Which is just insane because it's like it really goes back to like the mental health aspect. Like you need to be
Mhm.
happy no matter what. And sometimes like not even looking in the mirror, like body checking is such a huge like symptom of having an eating disorder, and it really goes hand in hand. But sometimes like taking a break from looking at yourself or doing whatever your body needs, like in that moment, that has nothing to do with how you look. Like sometimes when I'm having a bad body image day, I'm like, okay, like let's think about all the things my body does for me that doesn't tie into how I look. And I think just like grounding yourself
Yes.
in that way is so healing.
Yes, love, love, love that you said that. Because yeah, I think we forget sometimes to recognize how much our body supports us with exercise. Or yeah, what if you had lost a bunch of weight and then you couldn't lift weights anymore, or your runs got shorter because you lost that muscle tone. So I think knowing our bodies support us with so many different things, and especially as like women, when we constantly are going through our cycles every single month, which why? I mean, I know why, but
Well, you know, no, give the man a period. Anyways, it's fine.
I know, like, why is there
We
so
have
many different
carry
things? And
babies and you guys don't get periods. Like what? Ugh.
yeah,
Hello.
like what is happening? Like
What do you guys
someone I
struggle with?
yeah, like we need to make a call, I think,
We
because
do.
what happened with that?
Yeah. Hello.
Maybe after we'll call.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just yeah, it is pretty insane how we forget sometimes, because we're our own hardest critics, and you have to put yourself number one, because if you don't, it's going to be real hard to set these goals for yourself or to love yourself when you hate yourself. And even exercising because you love your body, not because you hate it. Eating nourishing foods because you really are craving, a bean salad or a nice, I don't know, like casserole, whatever that you want. Yeah, it just can be really, really hard to remember that sometimes.
I love that so much. Now I want to ask you, can food trauma exist in someone that maybe didn't have an eating disorder?
Um, yeah, I think so. I think people can have food trauma, especially if it's linked to food insecurity, and maybe not have an eating disorder, but it shows up in maybe how they budget their meals, or maybe they didn't have like a kitchen space growing up, so they only rely on like microwavable items. Or a big one, I guess, which is a type of eating disorder, ARFID. I don't know if you're familiar with this. That one's interesting. And for those of you who don't know, it's where certain foods or certain textures, you've just decided your brain somehow is like off limits. I don't like it. Like it's not going to happen. And that's hard to navigate, especially when you are working with eating disorder patients, because it's like validating that, but also like I remember at the eating disorder clinic, it was like, okay, honoring their preferences, but not honoring it to a point where it becomes restrictive. So yeah, I think food trauma can definitely exist without it pairing to an eating disorder specifically.
No, and I just think it's so interesting. Like, people who don't understand food trauma or eating disorders, they tend to be like, oh, it's just food. And I'm like, actually, to that person, it's like this enemy that they're fighting every single day.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've never been
Um,
through it, then please don't comment on it because it's a nightmare.
Yes, and public service announcement. If you have gone through your own weight loss health journey, please stop selling programs to people doing the exact same steps that you did, because you are not the same as the person you're selling this program to. Like, please.
Exclamation point right after that. Because I'm
Explanation.
just like,
Yes.
what are we preaching? Why are you making someone pay for that?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Anyways,
Yeah.
what is one nutrition myth you wish would just disappear?
Mm, that I gotta go with the seed oil ones, to be honest. Like the seed oil ones, I know they're a popular one. Seed oils and processed foods. Like originally, my degree was in food product development and food science. So we learned all of this, like the science behind it. And process literally means like peanut butter because it's peanuts that were ground down into peanut butter. That's the term process. So with like all like the fear mongers like saying like, oh, like it's processed, it's bad for you. No, like the ingredients you're reading off of are fortified vitamins and minerals that we've added to products so no one has a nutrient deficiency. Like that's the term process that we're using. So that and then the seed oils, like there's a ratio of omega 6s to omega 3s, which is what people freak out about the seed oils. And unless you're having stuff that is convenience food like all day long, likely your ratio is fine. So the whole premise behind the seed oils and how it's going to kill you and cause you to be inflamed, no, it also depends on the person. And again, now we're just fear mongering foods. What if it was that favorite person's food? Or what if they have texture aversions and that's the only thing they can eat? Or what if someone's going through cancer and right now the only thing they can have is ice cream because they have sores in their mouth? Like there's so many different things where it's like you piss me off so much
Oh,
because
a thousand
you're
percent.
just limiting it.
And why are we going to
Yeah.
comment on what someone else is eating anyways? Like you truly never know the full story. And
Yeah.
like I think a human being themselves, and if they have a dietitian, like those two individuals can know like what that person needs. Like we don't need you
Yeah.
71, 2, 3, 7 on the internet to tell us what's good or
Yeah. Yeah, like oh, a holistic angel 555. Like, please
yeah,
get
please,
off my
please
screen.
go away. You probably have orthorexia, queen. Like, please, I'm praying for you.
Yes, yes, orthorexia, which
That's
yeah,
what I
or just
had.
like
And I was like, what the hell? Like I that's what I struggle with. And I'm looking back on that. I'm like, what was I doing? Like that was not normal. Like I thought sugar was
yeah,
healthy.
yeah, and I think honestly, like I was victim of it too. Like when all those documentaries came out back in the day about like organic versus not organic, like I was so into like my God, like the pesticides, like we're dying, but it's like, oh, hey, actually, organic produce is like $10 for an apple. So maybe we shouldn't be recommending organic foods to people who can't even afford conventional food. So maybe there's a larger picture here we should focus on.
Just a scam, actually. They just want more money. But anyways.
Yeah, love it.
Thank you, America.
Yeah.
Moving to
Yes.
Europe.
Happy birthday.
Happy happy birthday. You know. We're
Oh,
moving to Europe, actually. Let's go. The
I
food's
know.
better there
Let's
anyways.
do it.
I'm like, wait a minute, pasta doesn't make you guys sick? What?
Yeah, I
No one
know.
there has gluten intolerance. I'm like, huh? Wow, I wonder why. And that's another
Yes.
thing that like really pisses me off when someone's like, I'm gluten free and vegan and this, and this, and they're not even like, I don't even know if that's like an eating disorder or something that you've seen, but they're not even gluten intolerant. Like, why are we restricting something you don't need to restrict?
I would say a good majority of the time it is a form of restriction for sure. Gluten, yeah, I would say, or they hear something about how gluten's like inflammatory and they
Mhm.
can't tolerate it and it just doesn't sit well with them, which there are people obviously with
Right.
celiacs and true
Obviously.
gluten
They're
intolerance.
probably like, we can
But
meet you in the middle with our blood work to show you. Like, we believe you.
yeah,
We're not talking about you.
really.
We love you. We're not talking about
Yes. Yes. The ones that are vegan or it's just like a bunch of like Oreos or things that are considered vegan, but they're not actually having like the nourishing things. And there's also so many vitamin deficiencies that come with veganism too. But yeah, I think there are vegans, I'm sure, that follow it great. And especially if it's for your beliefs, I think that's wonderful. But the ones that suddenly are vegan because they saw something, those I have a question about.
Yeah, we're gonna invite you to lunch and we're gonna ask you some questions. Like, me and Peyton
Yes.
got you.
We're gonna dive in here. Yeah.
Literally, we're gonna figure out what's going on. And just like it's so
Yes.
interesting, like if you talk to people like for long enough that follow these lifestyles and you hear certain things, I'm like, wait, that's kind of restrictive. Like, hello.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, there was like the era of YouTube people who were like all vegan or like the fruitarians. I forgot some of their names, but I think there was one called like Alyssa. And then, of course, I think she turned to be like a carnivore. And it's like, this is so textbook classic of you just not knowing like what's going on. And like, bless her heart. Like, obviously, there's some disorderedness going on, but yeah, I remember looking at that and being like, how are you getting any nutrients if you're just having fruit? Like, what?
Or if you're just eating like meat, like I that all carnivore or
Yes,
whatever, I was like, what are we doing with that? Like, why is that a thing?
raw meat.
Raw meat.
Yeah, like
No,
vomit, please.
no,
Parasites.
throw up emoji right there. Like, no, no, thank you.
Yeah,
That's nasty.
yes.
How do we
hmm
feel our bodies instead of trying to control them?
Man, you asked some good questions. Okay. Practicing. I know a lot of dietitians like to talk about intuitive eating. I like to practice kind of intentional nutrition, which is one of the rules within intuitive eating. But I think specifically when working with like binge eating disorder, the intentional nutrition goes a little bit better because they might not know intuitively like how to eat at this point because their
Finger
hunger and
cues.
fullness
Messed
cues.
up. Right.
Yes, they're all messed up. So kind of having more of a schedule can be helpful for people like that. But yeah, I think it's kind of sitting down with yourself and or taking a mental note of acknowledging like what thoughts you're processing, like if is there any like black and white thinking. I like to talk like restrictiveness, like, or are we able to kind of lie in the gray area a little bit. I think having that and not having like the orthorexia part two can be seen as more food freedom instead of trying to control your body, and also not it being dictated by what your significant other is doing or your friends are doing, like you staying true to yourself of like, okay, like I'm feeling a skillet this morning and then maybe I'll have, I don't know, I'm feeling a smoothie later. But not I'm having a skillet because I need to get in my protein with the eggs and then making sure I'm not getting potatoes. And the smoothie is going to be protein smoothie because I need to hit, more protein. And I think that's where it gets a little vague.
Now I want to ask you, you just made my brain go here. Like, what does food freedom look like in a relationship? Like, you're married, obviously. I mean, I'm sure your husband eats really healthy because you're a dietitian, but he also eats what he wants to eat, probably. But, like, what does that look
Yeah.
like? Is there anything that people in relationships should incorporate if they are following a food freedom lifestyle?
So my husband actually does not eat super healthy.
Him listening
Well,
to this,
yeah,
like,
I know.
I
He's
like
like,
when Rylan said
excuse
I was.
me.
I
Yeah, he's
like
like,
I like when Rylan gave me the credit for eating healthy.
I know he's like in the comments, like actually. Um, excuse me. So I think it's like I don't know. I think it's also going back to like a lot of times like significant others like don't listen to your own advice. So I actually had a video I just did
So
about like yeah, like the Devil Wears Prada, and he's literally on Reddit cholesterol page trying to join a community to lower your cholesterol, and I'm like, babe, like right here. Like I can help you. Like I've given you a meal plan before. Like I've talked to you about the fiber. Like I talked to you about the saturated fat. So I also think like I more so eat when I'm hungry. Like I follow my hunger and fullness cues, and some people are wired like that or they've healed. I think I've healed from it, but I've been at a place where I wasn't in a good spot where I can intuitively eat like that. But we're working on it. I think when you are in a relationship, also kind of understanding where they're coming from, and like it can be frustrating if someone else, like God forbid, you're trying to recover and someone else is like in the peak of disordered eating or bad relationship with food. That can be difficult. So also just like educating, but trying to figure out where they're coming from, boundary setting for your own self. If you are on a food freedom journey, but maybe your friends and family aren't, I think it could be done to be educated. But I think if someone's not listening or it's just not vibing with them, just protecting your own peace, and educating when you can, but kind of following your own footsteps.
I love that. Or telling grandma to shut the fuck up and, mind her own business. That never hurts anyone at Thanksgiving or Fourth
Yes.
of July or whatever.
Yes. No, that always goes well.
Freedom
I'm
of speech.
super, yes, I'm super, super grateful that my grandma is like a classic, has dessert right away after dinner. Like the moment the fork goes down, she's like, okay, let's have pie. And she's a classic Wisconsin woman. So she's like, okay, like after supper. So love that for grandma. She always has sweet treats out in the counters. So yeah. And I think that makes a huge difference, like when you're growing up or having it be safe. And yeah,
I love that. No, and now I'm like
yeah,
interested. Like now I want to go to Wisconsin and try cheese. Like I didn't know you were
you
you
have
were
to.
like is it really a big
Yes.
deal there?
We literally have like a cheese castle in Wisconsin. There's also a store called Woodman's. Shout out to Woodman's. They have like an insane amount of cheese. Like I swear it's like two separate aisles of cheese. And it's like blocks of cheese, shredded cheese, chunks of cheese, burrata, like imported cheese. It's stupid. It's insane.
I need to come. Bucket list item.
Yeah.
And then I'll come hang out with you.
Yeah, for
Perfect.
sure.
See, here we
Yeah,
go.
come on over. I'll take you into town. We'll explore Milwaukee. It'll be great.
Excited. What is
hmm
one piece of advice you hope everyone kind of walks away today with?
Um, look at the research or background of what you're listening to on social media or coming across. If something is really extreme, like you should never eat this, or these are 10 things that you're doing wrong of why your body's inflamed, run. Because if you see any fear-mongering language, 100% of the time, it's not a dietitian doing it. So if you are going to follow something, if you are immersed in scrolling through the reels late at night, please look at who is posting this video. If it's, we were joking about the names, if it's like Big Muscle John Protein Plus, like probably not a good resource for you.
Pause.
So
Oh my God. That's no, that's so true though. I feel like people need to just follow you.
follow me. Okay, help.
It's not that hard to remember,
Yeah,
but it's like
yeah.
just following someone that's not a dietitian or a health professional is like following a bald guy getting hair advice. Like, why are we doing that?
That's amazing. Yes, no, absolutely. So, yeah, I think that would definitely be my biggest piece of advice.
I love that. Now we're gonna do a quick rapid fire to wrap this up. You ready?
Okay. Yes,
Coffee or tea?
coffee.
Love that. Sweet or salty?
Can I say both?
Yes, you can say both.
Okay, both. Thank you.
Favorite vegetable?
Ooh, I really like crispy Brussels sprouts. They have to be real crispy though.
Never
Yeah.
had Brussels sprouts. I need to try them.
You've never had Brussels sprouts? Oh
Oh,
my God, girl, crisp them up. If you do like honey and crisp them in the oven and you do like a little bit of cayenne to them, it's like sweet, salty, spicy. So good.
I'll do it tomorrow. There we go.
Okay,
Favorite way to move your
great.
body?
Favorite way to move my body?
Yeah,
I like running, but not running too far, like 2 miles tops, and then I'm bouncing, but I do like to run.
I love that. What is one piece of advice your younger self needed to hear?
Um, that you are enough and you do not need to fit the mold of your friends, because your body is true to you and so different than everyone around you.
I love that. And since we talked about
Yeah.
cake and dessert, what is your favorite dessert?
So I've been on a trend like since 16. For every year for my birthday, I request a cookie cake. It's just like so buttery and good, and I love a good fake frosting. Like, please give it to me.
I love that so much. That's so, so, so healing and sounds so
Yeah,
good. Now I want cookie cake.
it's so
Um,
good. It's the best.
This was so much fun. We're definitely
I know.
I could yap with you all day long.
Absolutely. I know.
So smart and so fun and just a ray of
Oh,
sunshine.
thank you.
But where
Thank you,
can we
Rylan. I
follow
appreciate it.
you? We want to follow you. I mean, I know because I'm cool like that, but where can we follow you? Where can we connect with you on all the places?
Yeah, so main account would be Instagram at Pay Health. I also have my website, which is payhealthnutrition.com, which is where the merch just dropped, so you can order. And then TikTok, I like deleted it because I didn't have storage on my phone. So like I'm not great on there, but I do have like the Pay Health Nutrition. And then I have a Facebook page that's more for like moms, you know what I mean? So, but mainly Instagram.
Can we work with you if we're not in Wisconsin?
You can. So there's non-licensure states, but I'm in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Georgia. But if you go to my website, if you go to inquire or book, it will show you the states that I can see you in, and I accept insurance. And 99% of the people I work with pay $0 to meet with me because I can accept insurance, which
Mm.
love making nutrition accessible to everyone. So you can check to see if you were in a state that I can see you in.